Yo, what's going on? Welcome to Sneakers and Sports. The crew is back, and today we'll be talking about the draft. We'll be talking about our winners. We'll be talking about our losers of the draft. We'll be talking a little bit about the Falcons, about the Saints, because you know those are our teams, the Falcons and the Saints.
Rise up.
That.
Whoa now. And of course, the hottest topic in the draft, Shedeur Sanders. We definitely got to talk about him. So, fellas, the first thing we want to do is talk about the losers of the draft. Who do you all think are the losers of the draft? KP, let's start with you. What's going on?
Well, I mean, according to PFF, the biggest loser, one of the biggest losers was the Tennessee Titans. And I think they didn't really like, a lot of people didn't believe in Cam Ward, and which I'm not really sure about that. From what I saw in Michigan, Cam Ward was that dude, bro. So I'm not really sure on that one, you know, how PFF came with that grade. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
the Commanders, and I think, you know, when you look at it, the Commanders had an average draft at best, but they didn't really need a lot. Dan Quinn overachieved. Jalen Daniels proved that he is that guy. You know, they need a little receiver help, and I don't think that's not a lot. So, you know, it's kind of hard to call them a loser when they were in a great position in the season. What you think, Ruff?
Yeah, I think they were in a good position. Jaden Daniels is doing everything he needs to do as a young player. So I can't say, but it all depends on, it's a lot of where they go from here on this. Which team do you believe they are? You know, are they young,
Right.
who needs a lot of work, or did they overperform last year and, hey, they ready for the next step? It's a whole lot of variable on that one. But
Man, they had an amazing season. You
Yeah.
know, you came so close to really, you know, taking that next step. Nobody thought they were going to be a playoff team. So I can't really say they, you know, had a bad draft. To me, when I talk about who had a bad draft, I think you're looking at teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't got a quarterback, and you didn't get a quarterback out of the draft. That's wild to me. Like, your number one quarterback is in New York. Your backup is in New York. One at the Jets, you know, being Justin Fields, and one with the Giants, you know, being Russell Wilson. Both of them are gone. You did not make a trade for a veteran quarterback, and you didn't draft anybody. So I'm not really sure what the Pittsburgh Steelers are doing. I have no idea who's going to be playing quarterback. And you just made a trade for DK Metcalf, and you got no quarterback? That seems like nasty work to me.
And that's the teams that I look at and say they had a bad draft, when it's like, what's the plan here? What do you intend on?
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
hey,
What
I
Da
mean,
Vinci Code are you following?
but no plan is a whole different thing. What's going on? So
Exactly. Hey, Mike, I wonder, what's the Da Vinci Code in New York, bro? Like, I mean, as far as, you know, I get it with Russell Wilson, and now you have somebody paired with Rome Odunze. Nice, I get that. But you got no running back, and your offensive line is not good. Same thing with the Jets. You got a bad offensive line and questionable secondary and a questionable linebacking core. So I would say the Jets, the Giants, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I have no idea what none of them teams are doing.
Yeah. I'm confused. I wonder why the Saints aren't on that list. You know, you
Yeah.
don't have to get that down. I wonder why the Saints are not on that list, you know?
I
I thought
can't
they would have been at
understand
least.
Hey,
yeah.
Ruff, you need to be on that list. Let's preface this. Shout out to Ruff. Ruff hosts one of our shows, Gridiron Gumbo, which is a Saints show, Aints show, if you're a Falcons fan. Bro, y'all been kicking the can down the road with the salary cap for like 20 years, bro. Now the chickens have came home to roost. What y'all gonna do, bro?
All right, so I know I'm in enemy territory right now. So I'm glad y'all had me on to talk about the Saints here. So yeah, the Saints are probably a middle of the road draft to me. Not good, not bad. This is one of those instances where a new coach has come in. He got his guy. Now he's going to live or die by that pick. Most coaches do that. They want, hey, this is who I want. This is going to be the centerpiece of my team. Great. You get him. Now it's up to you to produce, okay? I mean, Sean Payton did it with Drew Brees. When Drew Brees first got drafted, he was a quarterback that had a serious injury to his throwing arm. Nobody thought.
Yeah, but he was a monster for the. Come on now, let's put some respect. I hate to say it, but he was a monster for the Chargers, bro.
He was, but all I'm
and
saying,
the Dolphins regret that they said that man's shoulder was no good.
Yes, he was an undersized quarterback with a serious injury to his throwing shoulder. Okay?
And the Dolphins, hey Mike, the Dolphins ruined our life. Had they took the man, they would have still been in purgatory.
Exactly. But even there you go. Even the Dolphins passed on him because they didn't believe injury was worth. You know, hey, he ain't gonna come back at 100%. Little did they know he came back at 120%.
Yeah, and they went with Greasy at quarterback, I believe. No, Feely.
Didn't last that long.
Yeah.
Did not have the quarterback. Did not have the career Drew Brees had. But Sean Payton went and got his guy, and at the time, even the city was like, we don't know who this guy is. I mean, he was
And
good,
he's undersized.
but the man was a monster. And Sean Payton wrote his career off of that. Hell, Mickey Loomis wrote his career off of that. You know?
Hey, Mickey Loomis went and bought a basketball team off of Drew Brees' arm.
Exactly. We still deal with Mickey because of that. But Dennis Allen got his guy. He went and got Derek Carr. That didn't work out. So Dennis Allen is not looking for a job. So if this guy doesn't work out, hey, he might be 2-3 years.
Can you say Carr didn't work out? He got injured, bro. And he's injured now. I can't really say it's not working out. He's injured.
Even when he's not injured, he's not that great. I'm sorry.
I remember that parade y'all was throwing after game one. Y'all was living it after game one, and it just
two games.
Yeah, two.
We thought maybe we had it wrong, but the Raiders told you who he was. The first season he was with us told us who he was. He had 2 great games with us, and then after that, it was absolutely nothing.
Over with.
So, I mean, y'all who your record says you are. I hate to say that, but maybe you are. You're definitely better than you're definitely one of the 32 best.
Right.
At the price the Saints paid for him, nah, sorry. I'm a big.
Let me ask you this though, since we talking about your squad, bro. You know I can't say the name. I'll rise up, bro. I gotta throw respect to my team. How did you feel when y'all passed on Shador and you saw Shuck in a pre-draft workout? He couldn't even throw the ball to the man with nobody on the field. How'd you feel about that, bro? Because that video, that tape is like, hack him up though. That looked crazy.
The one throw, okay, but for B,
I ain't seen Shador have no throws look like that.
I told you I'm big on value. Okay, I'm gonna always go with value over anything else. Okay, so picking him second round, you better have seen something damn good in this kid. I even kid adult because he's 26. I hope you are correct. I hope you're right. I'm gonna ride with my team no matter what they say. But you defied all conventional wisdom to jump on the second round to get this guy.
So he looked old. Like, you remember Brandon Whedon with the Browns? He's an old man. You remember Chris Winkie? He was old when he got to Carolina. I don't know. That hasn't really worked out too well when dudes are that old, bro. It hasn't looked good. And
career.
And then dudes with the sidearm throw. We ain't been a lot of outside of Phillip Rivers. I ain't seen a lot of guys be successful with the sidearm throw.
We shall see. That's all I can say. I'm gonna ride with my team. Saints fan for life. Who that? And we shall see. I'm hoping for the best. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So Ruff, I had to call you out with the Saints, but because I did that, and I'm an equal opportunist. So now we're gonna roll over to the Falcons. And KP, I know that's your squad. That's my squad. I know that's your squad. So what you got to say about the Falcons and their draft?
Well, first off, if you're a real Falcons fan, you need to pull up on us and watch Rise Up Rundown. That's me and Mike and Shaka. We talk Falcons all day, every day. Rise up. Anyway, with that being said, shameless plug, PFF, and I agree with them, had the Falcons being one of the big draft winners. Coming out of this with an A score, and I agree with that. I wouldn't give it an A minus or A plus. I just think it's a straight up A. When you come out of here with Jalen Walker, who people said has some off-the-field issues, not for them off-the-field issues, he's a top 3 pick out of everybody. Right there with Abdul Carter, I love it because the Falcons for a long time have been so stuck on not trying to make the same mistake with Michael Vick and pick guys who are choir boys, but guys on defense, you need dudes that are nasty, that want to go get the quarterback. That's what you need on defense. That doesn't work. We have not had a true pass rusher since Vic Beasley, and he was a one-hit wonder. He was straight up Chucky Booker out here playing games on you, one-hit wonder, okay? So we have not had no other guys since then, and you can't survive off of one-hit wonders. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of them guys out there. Ask them about them. Them guys are out the league. Since Vic Beasley's at his house just like us. So you have to be able to produce and have guys that can come back and have dynamic seasons. We had the same thing happen with us with Judon. Judon has now proved that possibly he's over the hill. I think what they asked Judon to do was a little bit too much. But again, that goes back into what I'm saying about guys not really producing. He produced at the end of the season, the last 3 games. You need more than that. You can't show up in the fourth quarter and then decide to play. That ain't going to work, man. You can't do that for me. So, I need guys that's going to be committed to the process the whole season. And one of the things I love is trading back into the first round and coming up with another pass rusher. I know he's undersized, but one thing's for sure, he's a ball hawk. Not only is he a pass rusher out there getting sacks, he's also getting interceptions. Now I look at myself to be able to run a NASCAR package like they did with the Giants when they had JPP, when they had Michael Strahan. You had guys that could collapse from all different angles. with David Onyemata, which we got from y'all. He's a great run stopper. He can collapse the middle. Now Ruka Roro can play his position and collapse the middle. Now you got these two edges coming off, taking your head off. That's going to help my secondary because we also got, Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. Love him. Great pick, ball hawk. Probably the best safety in the whole draft. Now you pairing him with Jesse Bates, another ball hawk. Bro, we in there like swimwear, man. Now we back to making hits like So Def, bro. We back on top, man. So I love
saying we back in the playoffs.
We gonna give some people a run for their money.
See, that trading back up into the first round to get a second edge rusher, that was a good move.
That was slick move.
That was a good move. It's about 10, 15 years too late.
Yeah. Man, we needed that with Matt Rice.
Right now, yeah, you needed that. What is it? 28-3. That's what y'all needed that, bro.
Well, I mean, honestly, that defense ain't the reason they lost the game. Coaching's the reason you lost that game.
It was the reason they lost the game.
Coaching's the reason you lost that game because you should have ran the ball, and if you run the ball, the game is over. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and kick field goals and make them chase you. You got too cute, and this is proven to be Kyle and Dan's Achilles because Dan did the same thing with the Commanders. Yep. The same thing happened with the Commanders. I've seen Kyle Shanahan do it in 2 other Super Bowls now.
Yep.
So that philosophy don't win championships. It's been proven now. So I don't know how much more evidence you need.
That's a Friday Night Lights moment. Say, look, I'm running this ball. We're not going to do this anymore.
No, I'm not even going to give you a chance, man. Dog, if it take really, you could actually win the game by just sitting there running the clock and kneeling. You don't have to run no plays.
Yeah.
You can just let the clock go down and kneel.
I'm glad they made the choice. Thank you very much, Kyle Shanahan. Good job. But
but we watched him do that for the 49ers. So I mean, he's literally done it
personally.
Right. He's literally tricked the 49ers out of 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, the 49ers used to beat up on the Saints back in the day. So
yeah, they did. But they used to beat up on everybody. We were NFC West back then.
Yeah.
All of us with the 49ers, which makes no sense. Why are the Falcons and the Saints in the same division with the 49ers? You're on the other side of the country. That don't make no sense. But, we were all suffering back then. Back in Fort County Stadium, you at the Superdome, we was all suffering back then.
That's why Saints Falcons is what it is, because we were just the 2 terrible teams in that division.
Facts.
Hey, that's all we had to live for, that one game. So, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. I will say this, though. We look at the NFC South. I think the Tampa Bay Bucks, I know a lot of people didn't like what they did. I think it was average, though, because you won the South. There's not a lot you need to do. You got a team stacked full of veterans. Mm-hmm. You came out of it with a receiver because Chris Godwin's hurt. You need that. Evans ain't going to be able to play forever. So I like what they did.
Future.
I think
for now.
With us having more pass rush, here's the thing, and everybody approves this. When you put a pass rush on Baker Mayfield, he show you who he is every time you get a ball away. Yeah. So, I kind of see that. And then with the Panthers, I agree with them having a good draft, to be honest, because at the same time, you got to give Bryce Young some targets, yo. He ain't had nobody to throw the ball to.
I think a lot of people are underrating the Panthers draft, to be honest with you. Some people don't. A lot of people really don't like it. Some people like it. A lot of people really don't. I think they saw what they think they have something good with Bryce Young. And they're trying to build a team around him. Maybe not for this year, but slowly but surely put those pieces together. Make sure he has weapons, make sure he has a defense, and just keep building year after year until he truly comes into his own and he can lead a team.
Bro, they got to get this man actual coaching, bro. You cannot have 3 different coaches and 3 different coordinators. You're going to ruin a quarterback every time you do that.
They need stability.
That's not a recipe for success. I mean, I get it that, he's undersized and probably he's what you hope to be like Tua. That's what you hope his ceiling to be. But right now, he's trending towards Ryan Leaf because their organization is so unstable.
And that's the problem with some of these organizations, period. There's the organizations themselves that are dysfunctional. And bringing players in with talent to these dysfunctional organizations, and it's like they never become who they're supposed to become.
I'll tell you a team that I kind of was like, I would have liked to see them a little bit more aggressive is the Cowboys. I would like to see the Cowboys be more aggressive because you're in a division now where you're starting to fall behind. The Eagles not going back the other direction. They're not lacking talent. They got all the pass rushers in the world. You know what I'm saying? You need to compete. It's an arms race. I would like to see them be more aggressive.
Pass rushers, they got Jalen Hurts under center. I mean, come on. Come on.
2 number 1 receivers.
A lot to make up. You have a lot of ground to make up with them. I mean, if you're waiting for a salary cap to take them out, that you're going to be waiting a little bit.
You're going to be waiting a long time. So, another team, the Raiders, I'm not sure what they were doing. I mean, you went Brock Bowers. This time you went Genty. I get it. I mean, you hope that Geno can continue to be who he was with the Seahawks, but here's the thing. He ain't got no Tyler Lockett this time, and he ain't got no DK Metcalf.
Who's he throwing to this time? That's going to be a problem for him.
I like Brock Bowers. He's a dope tight end, but it's only so much a tight end can do.
You can't throw it to him every time. Sorry. You can't air it out to Brock every time. You need some receivers. You need a line. And I don't think they have too much of either. So
No. And then, I'm also kind of looking at a team in, can they make this next leap? I think the Bills had a good draft.
Yes.
I think the Ravens had a good draft. But can you beat that guy? Can you beat 15? So far, it ain't happened yet. He y'all Michael Jordan. And he keep telling y'all can't touch me. And he keep proving it over and over and over. Yeah. This is like watching Mike beat the Knicks over and over and over again. I'm telling you, it's like I'm watching it, and then it's like on the other, it's like watching the Lakers when the Blazers couldn't get past them, and I like the Blazers, and they just could not get past the Lakers. It's like watching it all over again with them two teams.
He gets hot when the lights come on. That's when he's at his best,
and he be doing stuff to piss you off too. You like,
like beating some people. I mean, you got your Tom Brady's, your Jordans, your LeBrons, all of the Kobe's. When the lights come on, it's very difficult to beat those guys. I mean, I don't care how they look during the season.
Right.
They come into play during the playoffs, and you put your head on, put your head on, get your lunch pail because it's gonna be a long night.
Right. You better ice up. This is the thing too. Hey, Mike, I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. Josh Allen, one of my favorite quarterbacks. I love Josh Allen. I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. It's like watching Dominique Wilkins, bro. Like, you so good, but you so far away at the same time. You ain't got enough weapons to compete. It's like watching Neek all over and over again. And it's frustrating, bro. And I just like the way Josh plays. He does everything on the field. He's a great leader. And same thing with Lamar. Lamar is like watching Allen Iverson, bro. It's just not enough weapons.
Do things that amaze you individually, but just don't have everything he needs around him to take that step. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Ruff, what you think about the Bengals, man? You think the Bengals actually going to be able to compete, man? Because I'm kind of concerned when I be watching them, bro. Like, they seem to be spinning their wheels.
Yeah, I just hope they don't get my boy hurt. I'm sorry. That's it. Just let him have a good long career, even if they don't win. Please don't get him hurt, because I like that quarterback. I like that quarterback a lot.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I like him a lot. So, just don't get hurt. Let him play. Let him do well. And let him.
I feel like he set himself up to be Andrew Luck 2.0, man.
It's looking that way as time goes on. So I hate to say that, but
hey, Mike, first off, we were talking about this offline. I said my vote for Hard Knocks is got to be the Browns, because I'm all in to see what's going to happen with Shador. Like, I need to know. I'm a Falcons fan, and I want to watch they Hard Knocks, because I want to see is he going to beat Gabriel out? Is he going to beat Kenny Pickett out? Flacco? Sean probably going to be there in the walking boot. Yo, did y'all see that on Instagram? They had like the thing where they had the face replacement from Rush Hour.
Oh, yeah.
And they had Sean, he's taking Shador to the massage parlor.
Rush Hour, too. Yeah.
Yo, the internet is undefeated, bro.
I'm with you on that. I mean, when it comes to the Hard Knocks, I got to see the Browns. All we worried about really right now is Shador. I mean, if you think about it, in the draft, they have record numbers of people watching the draft, those later rounds and stuff because of Shador.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, yeah. That's must-see TV right now.
Man, with that being said, though, so I'm sitting here trying to figure out who's going to be the quarterback. We know who's not going to be the quarterback. Deshaun not going to be the quarterback. He just tore his Achilles again, 3 months ago? He going to be a walking through.
Yeah, he's out.
If he could, dog, that man may never play again, dog. You don't re-tore your Achilles twice? I don't know about that. You talk about Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, that he probably done, bro. He probably overcooked now. But Kenny Pickett, he didn't prove that he could play with the Steelers. And then you got Flacco, who looked horrible with the Colts. And then a year before that looked great. Got off his couch, took you to the playoffs. You got Gabriel, who came from Oregon, which I don't know. I don't know what they were doing with that. To me, he just like Marcus Mariota 2.0. That's just my opinion. And then you got Shador, who, if Shador reaches potential, I'm telling y'all, man, that man gonna be Tom Brady 2.0. Tom Brady late draft pick. Everybody passed on him. He's not overly fast. He just processed great and make good decisions, a good leader.
Yeah. As a Saints fan, I would definitely watch a Hard Knocks with the Browns. I'm very interested to see how well Shador does, just to if nothing else, just to analyze our draft and our second round quarterback pick even better, because if these later round quarterbacks outshine that second round Tyler Shuck, then again, conventional wisdom, he was there for you. You decided to pass on against all conventional wisdom.
Yep.
If I was a Saints fan, I wouldn't want to watch the Hard Knocks with Shador.
Because if you look good, you'll be there crying, huh?
Yeah, I'm in there crying like, oh my goodness, what did I do? Like I passed on
them by the same.
Yeah, I'd be like, I passed on them because of a couple interviews. What's going on?
We did that already. We passed on Lamar for some odd reason. But hey,
you can't. Everybody pass on Lamar, dog. I mean, literally. That's a lot of people pass on Lamar. That's crazy.
That was one of those.
Put it in perspective. I think the Browns look at this though. They passed on Josh Allen. They decided they wanted Baker Mayfield.
Everybody picked somebody.
Real quick. With the Shador thing, do you all really think the reason that they passed on Shador was because of his interviews, or do you think it was because of his dad, or what do you think the real reason is because why they passed on Shador? What do you think that is?
I have my militant black man view of why they passed on Shador.
So you said collusion.
Sending a message, understand your place, understand who you are and where you rank in this, and that's it.
I mean, for me, I kind of see like how people say about T.O. T.O. was a distraction, blah, 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 blah. I just know one thing. T.O. gave you 1,000 yards every time. T.O. played on a broke leg in the Super Bowl. So, and I have a personal friend that played with that organization. I have another friend that actually played with T.O. And their story of what he was in the locker room is totally different than what the media say.
Yeah.
I mean, and dudes are going to have beefs. We know he got in a fight with Hugh Douglas. Dudes are going to have beefs. That's normal in the NFL, yo. Like, that's...
Guys.
You just don't normally hear about it. That's all. It's normal. Like, yo, we didn't know about Jordan punching Steve Kerr till their careers was over.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how it's supposed to go. I mean, that stuff stays in the locker room, bro. I'm sorry, but if nobody got hurt, leave in the locker room, everybody squash it and continue on.
Facts.
You get paid too much to do this.
Facts.
Worried about he hurt my feelings. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just think it was the same tired narrative that, everything they've devalued about Shador is everything people love about Tom Brady from a perspective of what he can do on the field. I'm not saying he is Tom Brady. I think he has that potential at his max capacity after a couple years. But the same things you're saying, Tom is not overly fast. He ain't got no overly big arm. You know what I'm saying? He don't have no cannon. He's not running away from people like Lamar. So and he's not Big Ben where you can't tackle him. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the same things that you devalued about Shador that we love about this other quarterback.
Yeah.
And then to say the dude's a distraction, the kid had a 4.0. A 3.9. He had no off-the-field issues, ever.
None.
He's a distraction because he's on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's other players on Instagram. Odell Beckham was on Instagram all the time. I mean, what are we saying here?
Jason Whitlock called him Tupac Shador.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But, I mean, what do we expect from somebody like Jason Whitlock?
Go about your business. He could go somewhere.
I mean, when you're a carpetbagger, these are the things you say. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be surprised. What I do wonder, though, who y'all think is going to end up being the starter by maybe the end of the season? I think Shador eventually, I think it's going to start out with Flacco. And I think either Flacco's going to get hurt or he's going to start playing bad again. I think Kenny Pickett's going to get traded. I'm not even sure Kenny Pickett's going to be there when the season starts. I think he's going to get traded.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Shador, man. And it's going to be hard. Gabriel just going to have to turn into, immediately he going to have to be, Drew Brees or something like that, or Joe Montana, John Elway immediately. Other than that, his days are numbered if he even get on the field.
Yeah, and I agree with you, KP, because Flacco's going to start off this year, just enough time to let the rookies get acclimated to game speed, and it all depends on how fast they get there. If Shador gets there quick, he'll be out there as soon as they can put him out there. I promise you.
Yeah.
So
I know one thing, Jimmy Haslam going to look like a genius. If this works, and you end up with them 2 first-round picks, and you can hold, them picks hostage for one of the quarterbacks next year, for Manning or anything else, man, they don't look like how the Cowboys look when they fleeced the Vikings for good old your guy from here, from good old what's his name, running back. I can't Herschel Walker, Mr. CTE. They don't look like geniuses. They fleeced them for that, bro. Because that built the whole Cowboys dynasty right there was Mr. CTE himself, Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
So I know we went on to Shador, but we did skip over the winners. We never said who were our winners. We know the Falcons is a winner. Of
Yeah,
course.
of course. Of course.
But who do you all think are some of the biggest winners of the draft?
Well, I would say the Browns is an incomplete. We don't know because that a lot of that depends on Shador if that was a good pick to trade down. The Bills, I would say, was a big winner. You got everything you needed for Josh. You filled the holes. You have a receiver now to replace Amari Cooper. So I would say they were a winner for sure. I definitely think the Cardinals.
Yes, that's
You re-upped. You got weapons on both sides of the ball now.
Mhm.
So and now if you can keep Kyler upright, you back in it again. So I would say those are, and the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens always pick well, bro. I don't think the Ravens ever have a bad draft.
It's a well-run team.
Yeah. I will say this though, for a loser, the Colts. What are you doing? You don't believe in Anthony Richardson. Where are you going? The Colts just seem stuck in neutral. So yeah, I would say those are probably the biggest winners. With the biggest one probably for me being, I know that PFF said the Cardinals, but I think the Bills and the Ravens are a tie as the biggest winners. That's what I think.
Speaking of the Ravens, because behind the Falcons, I really do like the Ravens. Do you think that the Ravens have enough to really do something, make some noise, and make it all the way this season?
I want to say yes because I want to see like I said, it's like watching the Lakers and the Sixers, and I want to see the step over moment, but I don't think so, bro.
Don't think so.
Unless Travis Kelce retire, bro, I don't think so.
Got you.
It's a hard road in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
For any team. So just trying to get past the Chiefs. But I do think the Ravens, just like the Bills, are those teams that are just like one piece away from actually making it work. They just have to figure out which piece they need, what's that perfect player that'll fit their scheme, trying to do, and disrupt what the Chiefs are doing. So
I mean, because the Ravens, you thought the King Henry was the key, and that didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else you can ask, and Patrick can win whether he's at home or away. That don't matter to them. I think the team that probably can get past them that may have enough is the Bills. I think the Bills, especially if they have home field and it's snowing bad, the Bills are right there. They were right there. This last game, they was like within inches of taking that thing. I think the Bills are closer to beating Patrick than the Ravens are. Because, man, Patrick be just mauling the Ravens, bro, and they be really be giving Lamar problems.
Yeah, those defenses that's the only defense I see that really gets in fits a lot of the times. But like I said, they have to keep Patrick Mahomes contained for that. Lamar can score. They just got to keep that contained. Keep that contained. So we'll see where they at. Now they could pick up some good defensive pieces this year. So hopefully that'll help them this time.
I mean, shoot, in the NFC, I'm not sure that who's going to catch the Eagles right now. I don't know.
I hate to say it, but that's pretty much one.
I like to say the Falcons, but I mean that's being a homer, man. I really don't know. That's gonna be an interesting story. I mean, they could be beat, but at the same time, I mean, they're just the favorites. They're the champs. They got everything. For all we know, shoot, the Bears might end up beating them. I mean, we never know. The Lions, everybody thought that was gonna happen. The Lions got themselves embarrassed. So you never know.
Got you.
So I mean, they won the draft from a business perspective. Just getting Shador that late. No matter what he does, he's going to bring money and eyeballs to your team.
Dog, he got the second highest jersey sale right now. Behind his teammate. That's how the Browns fumbled the bag too, bro. You could have had both of them.
Hunter.
You could have had both of them. You just outsmarted yourself for no reason.
Well, like I said, no matter what happens, they've won before he's even thrown a pass. Now, if he's even halfway decent, it's off to the races for them. So that'll bring a lot of attention to their team or their city. And I hope it works out for him because I do want to see Shador succeed.
Yeah, I do too, man. I think it's ridiculous when coaches be saying like they was worried about Deion. That sounds stupid. That sounds dumb.
No one cares when you're winning.
Yeah.
There's only a distraction if you're losing.
I mean, how you going to be worried about a grown man possibly taking your job as a college head coach? That sounds ridiculous, yo. That's a you problem. Exactly. That's not a Deion problem or a Shador problem.
So look here. I'm going to end it like this. If you all are watching this show, put in the comments who you think are the biggest winners, the biggest losers, and please tell us what you think about the Shador situation. Do you think it was about Shador? Do you think it was about his dad, Deion? Do you think it was collusion? Or what's going on? So please, in the comments, let us know. Please like, share, subscribe, and we out, and we'll see you next time.
See y'all in the gumbo, bro.
Rise up.